Good morning, this is Los Angeles Prepper here with a short video. 10 reasons to consider an electric vehicle for a bug out option, or even a bug in option in sort of transportation around your neighborhood. Number one, they're quiet. Unlike the electric ceiling fan in my room, which is not quiet, most electric vehicles are relatively quiet. If you've ever heard a Prius or a Tesla, you know that they don't make a lot of sound. They'll sneak up on you like little snakes. Number two, sustainable. Gas, even with stabilizer, only lasts a certain amount of time. Diesel will only last so long. Propane lasts a lot longer if you have a propane vehicle, but we're not talking about propane vehicles right now. It's another video maybe. Batteries last a long time, not forever. Check out, look into the difference between how long lead acids last, especially the acid versus the gel type. Um, Look at lithium ion batteries, nickel iron batteries, a lot of different battery options out there. So, at any rate, electric vehicles are definitely sustainable, especially when you add solar power to the mix. Number three, really easy to work on. A lot easier to work on than gasoline or diesel or other types of engines. Battery controller, maybe a few fuses, a shunt here and there, contactor, maybe a voltage regulator, a couple chargers or something, and it's probably just one charger. But the point is very, very straightforward. Kind of a different breed of animal than gasoline engines, obviously, but relatively straightforward. Number four, you might get a little better EMP protection than a gasoline engine. It's kind of really depends on the motor and the controller and things like that, but it's possible that older electric technology will be more EMP proof. Number five, you have so many options from powered golf carts to mobility chairs to bicycles to DIY stuff, get a treadmill motor and build your own thing. Um, we've been using electric motors for forever and ever, and batteries are aplenty, speed controllers are aplenty. And the nice thing about electronics is, to get into number six, how easily customizable this stuff is. If your system needs a 12-volt battery, um, presuming you're going to have a battery with enough capacity, amp hours, it doesn't care if it's a car battery or motorcycle battery or two 6-volt batteries in series or, one 24-volt battery step down to 12 volts. Electrons are electrons, by and large. So, a treadmill doesn't care if it's power, controlled by a speed controller from a golf cart, as long as the voltages, and things are kind of in range. So, and amps and everything. Really easy to customize and do your own thing. Number seven, cheap, free to run. Presumably, you're going to be generating solar power for it. Even if you're doing human power, it wouldn't be too bad, but using human power to power an electric vehicle, you would get tired pretty fast. So I'd definitely recommend solar. The one bummer about the solar is it does take a while to charge. So depending on your capacity, if you were really trying to use an electric vehicle a lot, you would want to have some decent solar capacity. Number eight, yeah, gas lasts a year. Kind of ties into number two, sustainable. So, it's great to have like the big, baddest 4x4 out there, but unless you're going to power it with biofuel that you make on the farm, it's going to turn into a paperweight eventually, sadly. Even if you run it in a couple years with really nasty gas in it, it's just not going to last forever. Number nine, you can't hoard the sun. People are going to hoard gas and diesel and tires and parts and spark plugs and every single thing related to a car. There will be some salesperson or some group trying to control it. You can't stop the sun shining unless you're Mr. Burns, So you got your panels up on your roof. Nobody's going to stop you from taking that energy. It's yours for the taking. Number 10, this is another cool one. You can use other people's power. People might have power to spare. And because battery electric vehicles are modular, you don't have to park your electric car necessarily or your electric cart at your neighbor's house. You can wheel over your battery and say, hey, like we talked about, you want to charge my battery? I'll do this for you, barter this with you, whatever. Let you borrow my cart maybe if you charge my battery. So You get a few neighbors to charge a few of your batteries. Pretty soon, in a couple days, you got your electric cart, you know? So, how are you going to do that with gasoline? Not going to do it with gasoline. I think there's real potential for electric bug out vehicles, especially with how solar is coming down, especially with all this, you know, electric bicycle stuff coming out. Electronics are just getting so much cheaper and so much more available and so much easier to kind of integrate. It's going to be really interesting how this all plays out. If I didn't have anything better to do, I'd start a company designing electric bug out vehicles. You know, how cool would that be? But anyways, let me know what you think about using electric vehicles to get around. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.